Well, the title of Wynton Kelly's album there is Kelly Blue, and we're hearing a lot of the blues there, and also his swing feel. He's also kind of messing with the rhythm a little bit in there, kind of.
Yeah, it's masterful. You hear Red Garland pops those upbeats in a more exaggerated way than Wynton Kelly does. Wynton Kelly plays a little bit more of a I don't know, a cleaner line, a little bit more like even more like Bird, where you don't pop the upbeats so much. He just seems to kind of glide right through it like glass. If that's an analogy that makes any sense to anybody.
I was going to say there's a lot of theatricality to his playing too, a lot of drama.
And when you watch him play, he's like a statue. Whereas when you watch Monk play, he's jumping all over the place and doing really unorthodox things with his hands, and he stands up when he plays. And Keith Jarrett too, right? They're like it's like a show to the whole thing. Not Wynton Kelly. He looks like a statue while he plays.
Fascinating. Yeah. Well, that's a great cut. And as we're talking about the blues, we come to Oscar Peterson Trio playing a little tune called Sea Jam Blues.
Now I picked Oscar for this list because he could go into many different decades because his life career spans so much time, but he's kind of all his own, and he's like in a category all his own. He's the only guy who possibly has as much technical prowess as Art Tatum. Sometimes people aren't pleased with the musical setting without drums when you have the Herb Ellis playing the bongos on the guitar. And so some people get a little bit turned off and think that sounds a little corny or something. But I challenge you to say, come on, say that to Oscar Peterson's face. A little corny. That guy's the best. And he's going to push you off the piano bench and play more piano than anybody can imagine. And this next track I transcribed many, many years ago. And I realized while I was transcribing it that there was some level of perfection in the time feel going on here. The way that Ed Thigpen, the drummer, and Ray Brown, the bass player, the way that trio plays as a unit, there's a clarity of tempo that's sort of unique in jazz. So if you really listen to everybody's music, just about anything, unless they're playing to a click track in the studio, everybody oscillates a little bit. And that's not to say that it's not good. Like Elvin Jones oscillates like crazy, but boy, that's fantastic. So what? If it speeds up or slows down a little bit, it's not rushing or dragging. It's just got this kind of elastic quality that it's going for. Whereas Oscar Trio with those guys is this super refined quarter note playing. So I got finished with transcribing the piano solo, and it's when you slow it down and loop a measure, it's so clean and perfect. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. It's really not a problem to hear the notes. It might be a little difficult to hear the notes when there's 5 notes at once. That can be a little more challenging because, is he actually playing that note, or I'm just imagining it? And if you start playing the note along with it, it starts to become an aural illusion that it is there or isn't there or whatever. But with that single line playing in the right hand, it's so clear and so perfect that it was very easy to transcribe. And I realized the art wasn't just in the harmony and the bebop lines, a huge part of the art was in the tempo. So I said to myself, let's get the tempo right. So at the top of the page you can write quarter note equals, and if it's quarter note equals 200 or quarter note equals 201 or quarter note equals 202, I want to get this right because this is like an important aspect of the music. So I had set it up at the CD machine that I'm using to transcribe off of. I'm old fashioned. That's how I do it. And then I had my computer playing the solo computer software, and I had them linked up. So now you're listening to the computer play, and it's not going to deviate because it's a computer. And you're playing, and the computer's playing with the band. Now, ordinarily, if you did this little test, within 3 bars, the music's wildly out of sync with the humans playing the music, right? This went on for 2.5 minutes before it even moved at all. They were perfectly synced up because their time feel was that accurate. It's just fantastic. That was a real revelation.
Let's listen to Sea Jam Blues by Oscar Peterson.